Okay, we'll make a sacred pact. I promise to teach you karate you promise to learn. I say you do, no questions. This is not just a karate lesson, this is a life lesson. Welcome back, Karate Masters. Are you ready for another epic adventure? Just a week after the release of Cobra Kai Season 5, we already got another piece of news. The Karate Kid franchise will get another movie. Stay with me until the end, as I have some really great news to share with you.
Is to face them. I will teach you real Kung Fu.
While Netflix is still playing on the rhythm of Cobra Kai Season 5, we heard another announcement. There will be another Karate Kid movie. Will it be a Miyagi-verse? We'll see. Cobra Kai is produced by Sony Pictures Television, and we got the announcement from Sony Columbia Pictures, which you can guess is accurate. As for the Cobra Kai, with its perfect 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes, Tomato Meter, it just repeated the success from the first season, and when you see that this story is working so well even after 5 whole seasons, why not try with another movie, right? But does this mean that the creators finally tipped their hands and opened the portal to the Miyagi-verse? As Josh Hield would say, this is a ginormous universe, and he's right. Hield and his two creative partners, Hayden Schlossberg and John Hurwitz, renewed their contract with Sony for 4 more years. What does that mean? That will be relevant to this new Karate Kid movie, all the spin-offs, offshoots, and everything else related to the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai universe. But just in case you forgot what was the story in the Karate Kid movies, I would like to remind you for a second. If you've never watched the movie and you just see the title, you would think it's an adventure pitting Ricky Schroeder against the Megalot Man or a sequel to Toenails of Vengeance. Trust me, Karate Kid was one of the nicest surprises of 1984, a heartwarming, exciting, sweet-tempered story with a friendship that you'll remember for a long time. These two are not just ordinary friends, they're coming from completely different worlds. A teenager who moves with his mother to Los Angeles from New Jersey and an old Japanese janitor. Yes, Daniel and Mr. Miyagi were real friends. Daniel was bullied at school by a boy who has a black belt in karate, so Mr. Miyagi offered him old-fashioned training. It turned out that the old guy's a karate master, but that's not it. He wanted to teach Daniel the total philosophy of martial arts. As they become friends, the wonderful center section of the Karate Kid. To say the least, Miyagi's system of karate instruction is offbeat. He puts Daniel to work, scrubbing the bottoms of pools, painting fences, and shining cars. This was a special system of training, even though Daniel complains that he isn't learning karate. The movie ends up with a climactic fight scene just like those in Rocky movies, and that's not a surprise taking in mind that John G. Avildsen made Rocky as well. But the heart of this movie is in the relationships, not in the fight sequences. There's also a sweet romantic liaison with Ali, in addition to Daniel's friendship with Miyagi, a relationship with a girl from the right side of the town with snobbish parents. Macchio was also on top choice for the main protagonist, not a typical handsome Hollywood star. Everything he says sounds natural, and he never seems to be reading a line. While Morita, on the other hand, made Miyagi into an example of applied serenity. But let's leave the old movies and focus on the most important things. What's coming next? Let's talk about the release date and the possible cast list.
I don't get it.
Practice, you will.
Can you break a log?
Not only will there be another Karate Kid movie, but we know exactly when. Yes, that's right, there's an official release date. Sony has announced that another Karate Kid movie will be released on June 7, 2024, and they also stated that the new installment will continue the original franchise, with Ralph Macchio leading the movies as Daniel LaRusso. The original franchise kicked off in 1984. The first movie introduced us to other legendary characters, such as the high school bully Johnny Lawrence, played by William Zabka, and Pat Morita in the role of the karate master Mr. Miyagi, whose unconventional methods of teaching karate set the story for the other movies and the whole Cobra Kai show. 3 other movies were released following the first one, and now they're all known as the Miyagi-verse. Mr. Miyagi and Daniel head to Okinawa in the Karate Kid 2, where Daniel comes up against another obstacle, Yuji Okamoto, or Chosen Toguchi if you wish. Morita and Macchio made another comeback for the Karate Kid 3, but in this one, Miyagi takes Julie, a new student, under his wing. The Karate Kid has become a widely recognizable and cherished movie. Since its release, the franchise even inspired the 2010 reboot starring Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith. The reboot brought its own set of differences, even though the general story itself was similar. Most importantly, the character Dre learns Kung Fu and not karate, and the story set in China. Cobra Kai was the most recent continuation of the franchise, and not just any continuation, but it's currently the best series on Netflix. It first appeared in 2018 and began as a YouTube original. Cobra Kai brought back the legendary Macchio and Zabka, but whether they'll be back for the next Karate Kid movie, I'm not really sure. Now, the most important question is, what will be the storyline of the new Karate Kid movie? Once the movie was announced, there was one statement that took our attention. John Hurwitz wrote on Twitter, "The guys and I would love to make Karate Kid and Cobra Kai movies and hope to someday. But this one isn't from us or focused on the Cobra Kai cast. Don't know much about it, but wish it well." Yeah, the same John Hurwitz from Cobra Kai, and he just did a bigger confusion. Schlossberg, Hield, and Hurwitz created and defined the Miyagi-verse with Cobra Kai, but if they're not involved in this project, it will be akin Sony Spider-Verse films. This is a wild shuffle, film a total wild card. It won't have any connection with Cobra Kai, that's for sure, but it might be a sequel to Jaden and Jackie's Redux. We could have heard these rumors since that movie was released, although there's never been any official confirmation. When making a sequel to the 2010 movie is a totally understandable decision, taking in mind the financial success that the movie made, $359 million worldwide, which is more than all the first 4 films combined. The producer was Will Smith, and he's also an executive producer for Cobra Kai. On IMDb right now, he's listed as the producer of The Karate Kid 2 as well. Anyway, I'm not sure we can take this seriously if we know that those listings are occasionally dubious on IMDb. IMDb states that the project has 6 screenwriters and 3 producers. There is no cast list included, but there is an official synopsis saying, after the sudden death of Dre's old kung fu instructor Mr. Han, young kung fu champion Dre Parker must learn the dark stepstones of how to become a good instructor and teach his old fellow enemies a little more than respect. There is one more problem. Dre Parker, the character played by Jaden, was only 12 in the previous movie, and he's 24 now, no longer a kid. Also, he doesn't have Macchio's babyface, who was able to play the 18-year-old Daniel when he was 27.
Very serious. Your sensei teach you how to fight with spear?
No more tournament.
There is, however, one more possibility. This could be something completely new, another Redux, with a completely new cast. Robert Mark Kamen, the writer of the original trilogy, wanted to make a completely different version of The Karate Kid Part 3. The plan was to make a prequel story where Miyagi and Daniel are traveling to 16th century China in a dream, but the producers didn't approve of this storyline. Whatever the plot will be, I'm more than sure that it'll be amazing. And what's your theory? Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.